I just shot like a minute of this without turning the camera on. Hey everybody, welcome to Thankful Thursday. It's December 3rd. And as always, before I get into what I am thankful for, the topic for today, let's go over what's going on in the stew house. Today, 3 out of 4 of us were at the doctor's office. The same doctor's office. Not seeing the same doctor, but the same office. Usually we do all actually see the same doctor, but because our normal doctor wasn't free earlier in the afternoon, so Logan had to see one of his coworkers. And then I went to see that same coworker because he was the one who did the procedure on me last Wednesday. So first, Logan had an appointment at 3:30 this afternoon that Michelle made earlier this morning because he had such a rough time during the night and earlier today. He was coughing so much that he was actually having a hard time breathing. And then Michelle sent me a text message basically saying that and saying how she wanted to cry just seeing him struggle so much and having such a hard time with it. And that was one of the most painful things to feel, that here I am like 45 minutes to an hour away and my son is, not life-threatening situation, but still he's struggling to breathe. He's having a hard time just coughing and coughing and coughing so much that he's gagging and throwing up, and I'm not there for him. And I felt so powerless, and it brought on a massive anxiety attack that I had to just kind of get out of the building. I had to get outside where it was much colder because I tend to overheat when my anxiety spikes. I got a soda because sometimes the caffeine helps actually counteract the anxiety for some weird reason. And I just had to shake my hands for a few minutes when I got into the office again just to work the energy out. I called Michelle to make sure that everything was actually okay. And she said, yeah, we've gotten a doctor's appointment for later this afternoon and he'll be fine. We'll make it to that. Because I from a text message, you never really know what the urgency is. When I later explained to Michelle my reaction to her original text message, she made sure to confirm with me that if anything is ever life-threatening or that dangerous to him or to Liam, she will call me, not send me a text message, which of course makes a lot of sense. But I wasn't thinking logically in that moment. So that's why Logan ended up at the doctor's at 3:30, and basically what they said was he's probably got a mild ear infection and a sinus infection, which really goes along with the symptoms of what we're seeing, which is that he has a cold, he gets a cough, it's really dry for a while, then it gets kind of a wet cough, and then he seems to get better. But what happens is all the stuff in his sinuses are draining down into his lungs or into his throat. He's coughing that stuff up and he sounds better, but it hasn't gotten rid of the infection in his sinus, so it builds up, starts to drain back again, starts the whole cycle again. So we got him a pack of antibiotics that he started tonight, and hopefully this will kick it out of his system. I had an appointment at 4:20, but since I actually left work and got to the doctor's office just in time to go in with Logan, we were seeing the same doctor. I just got my checkup right after he got looked at. Canceled out the need for my appointment. He just wanted to make sure that everything looked good after the vasectomy, things were healing nicely. He did say that there is a slightly larger than usual hematoma that's formed just from blood coagulating at the site of where the actual vasectomy took place, but he said that usually will get reabsorbed into your body over the next week or so. And he says heat or sitting in a warm bath or these kind of things, that will help it happen, but doesn't mean it's not going to happen on its own. He said you continue to take anti-inflammatory medications, Motrin or ibuprofen, and things should be fine in a week. So if I don't see any difference, I'll call him back and see what's going on there, but that makes me feel better that everything looks good. Now we have to wait a while to see if it actually worked the way it should. Go back and make sure that there's no swimmers, but that won't be for a while. Then lastly came Liam's appointment at 5:20, 5:30, one of those, to get his first rounds of vaccinations. He was supposed to have them a few weeks ago, but because he got the bronchiolitis, it wasn't a good time to give him that, so we waited till he got better, and he's mostly better now. Still got a little bit of that kind of phlegmy thing going on in his throat, but he's well enough to start the vaccinations. He only got 3 shots, and I'm not trying to start a debate over vaccinations. I definitely have my opinion, obviously, but that's the way I'm doing it for my family. So yeah, all 3 of us ended up at the doctor's. Status update for Liam, he is 12 pounds, 15 ounces, so basically 13 pounds. He's at the 90th percentile for height, and he's about the 50th percentile, 50 to 70th percentile for weight. Now, Logan, at the same time in his life, was 90th percentile for height, but only 25% for weight. So Liam is just as tall as Logan was, and about a quarter bigger. We'll see if that pattern continues. Yeah, And that's basically it. Now on to today's Thankful Thursday topic. What I am thankful for is something that we don't talk often enough about, especially in today's news cycle. We are so entranced and so mesmerized and hypnotized and salacious for stories of bad cops. And I'm not saying that those bad cops who do bad things don't deserve all the attention and punishment and spotlight that they get. But that being said, today, with the amazingly awful mass shooting that took place in San Bernardino, what we did see is good cops, good law enforcement officials from both the local all the way up to the federal doing what they do best. And within hours, they had 2 of the 3 suspects. I think they're still looking for the 3rd at this point. I'm not sure. I haven't seen the latest update. But to think that these people went into a convention hall, shot the place up with what they call long guns. I think they've determined it is assault rifles, but in the beginning they were just using the term long guns. Killed 14 people, injured 14 to 17 people. But these people had a plan. They went in, shot the place up, and left. And they escaped in a black SUV, and they wanted to do that before the cops got there. Now, how they found these people, I have no idea. But just a few hours later, there's a shootout in a residential area between the cops and a black SUV. And that's where they got, I think, 2 of the suspects. One, I think, was killed. The other one, I think, is in custody. Now, can you imagine what we would be talking about right now in the news cycle if these people had just disappeared into the wind? Which, when you think about it, should be a fairly easy thing to do. But then you get these professionals, you get these law enforcement professionals who know their job and they know what they're doing and they can respond quickly and accurately with the skill needed to track these people down. Even if it was just casting a wide enough net so that anyone who spotted a black SUV acting suspiciously called it in and they responded. But either way, when this black SUV was found, when the suspects were discovered, these police officers responded immediately without concern about the fact that these people were heavily armed. They were reportedly wearing body armor when they attacked a convention hall. These people meant business. And these law enforcement officers showed up first. It was black and whites before the SWAT team got there. So you're talking guys with 9mm going up against assault weapons. But they did it, because that's their job. There reportedly was 1 officer wounded, but he's fine, which is amazing, again, when you think about the firepower that these people were taking into the convention hall. Now, we still don't know what was going on. We still don't know what the motive was. There is talk about some sort of workplace dispute, but this was obviously well planned. They were wearing body armor, they wore masks, they got in and out in a certain period of time, and they had an escape route. This was not spontaneous. Or at least it doesn't seem that way. But the other thing about it was, this was only the first of 2 mass shootings today. 4 people were killed and another one later on, not connected to this. And those 2 mass shootings today bring to light the account that there have been more mass shootings in this country than there have been days in the year. Now you gotta think about that. Think about that insanity of a statistic. The mass shootings being defined in this moment as being any time that 4 or more people are injured or killed by guns in a single incident. This is actually according to Reddit. According to the Guns Are Cool subreddit, they have a mass shootings tracker. And according to that, the San Bernardino shooting was 355th mass shooting this year. And there's only been 336 days. So yes, that's more than 1, by a fraction, mass shooting a day. It's a sad state of affairs, and it's even sadder that every time it does happen, we don't really have any belief anymore in our government or in society as a whole that anything is going to be done about it, that there's anything that we can do. Because basically, you've got one side saying, let's create more restrictive laws to hold back at least certain types of guns and certain types of ammunition, and bigger background checks, more restrictions, longer wait times. And you've got the other side that's saying, let's just arm everybody. Even today, there were people saying that if only those people in the convention hall had been strapped, that maybe this wouldn't have been such a big casualty count. Is that true? Who knows? But unless they're strapping the same type of weapons, if these people come in with body armor and assault rifles, and somebody in the convention hall has a revolver or a Glock, they better be a damn good shot if they're going to take the person down before that person turns on them and takes them out. But who knows? That's still a hypothetical. So again, without getting too deep into what is again another sad and tragic situation, what I'm thankful for today is those law enforcement officers that continually every day put their lives on the line, and especially on days like this when they do it without thought of their own well-being, just for the fact that it is public safety that is most important. So to all you law enforcement people out there, I do appreciate you. Stay safe when you do these things, and thank you for all your efforts. So that's the vlog for today. Hope you guys have a good Thursday. Stay tuned for tomorrow, and as always, be good to each other.